Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're going to be doing the 1 through 8 Elixir challenge, and what that means is we have to build ourselves a deck with cards consisting all the way from 1 Elixir up to 8 Elixir, which is really hard because some of my favorite cards cost the same amount of Elixir, so we do have some choices to make, but let's get started here. Now obviously for the first card, the only choice we have is the 1 Elixir Skeletons, so let's go ahead and throw that in there, and then for the 2 Elixir cost card, let's go ahead and use the Spear Goblins. And then we do need one spell in our deck, I think, and the most versatile spell is the arrows, in my opinion. So gonna go ahead and use that for 3 Elixir. And then my favorite card in the entire game right now is the Hog Rider. So we're gonna go ahead and use that for 4. And then for 5 Elixir, I think we want 1 defense in our deck just to have some sort of shot at winning. So let's go ahead and use the Inferno Tower, just because a lot of people right now are using the Royal Giant. And then for the 6 Elixir cost card, let's go ahead and use the Royal Giant, and hopefully we can get some sick Hog Rider Royal Giant combos going on. Now for the 7 Elixir cost card, I think we only have 2 choices between the Barbarian Hut and the P.E.K.K.A. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Barbarian Hut as a extra building for defense, and also the Barbarians might be helpful in this deck. And let's go ahead here for the last card. I think our only option is, of course, the Golem. So there we go, guys. That is the deck I've created. Average Elixir cost of 4.5, which is pretty high, something that I'm not too used to. So let's go ahead and do some battles here. Now I am sitting up here at a respectable 3,277 trophies, so hopefully we don't lose too many in these battles, but let's go ahead here and give it our shot. Now what do we have here? I do want to apologize, guys, though, before we get started, if my commentary is a bit off today. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather all day, so that's why we're kind of taking it easy and doing a fun little challenge video today. But I'm going to start out with the Barbarian Hut right in the middle there, and start getting some Barbarians flowing. Now we do have that Golem card in our hand right here, which might be hard to pull off with this deck. So what do we have to counter this Musketeer? 1 Elixir Skeletons maybe? Let's go ahead on this side and use the Royal G and see what that does. And then here, we're going to use some Skeletons to take care of this. And he has a free spell. So things already are looking incredibly bad. The Inferno Tower, of course, is going to counter this Hog. And then we're going to use the Spear Goblins to counter the right-hand side. And we're going to take a ton of damage here. So Tower on the right is going to get destroyed. And nope, we can survive that. So we're only a minute into this battle, and both of our towers are almost dead. So things aren't looking too good yet so far. Now Barb Hut right here, of course, to help to kill that Musketeer. And of course, she is out of range of my tower, so that kind of sucks. Now my Barbarian Hut is only level 5, which means that the Barbarians that come out of it are level 7, which honestly are super weak for this trophy range. Now let's go ahead here and do a sick Royal Giant Hog Rider push just for funsies and see if we can't get anything accomplished. He drops the free spell, which unfortunately will counter our entire push, and that is probably going to be the end of the battle, guys. Spear Goblins to counter those Barbarians, and he will sneak that Hog Rider in on the left hand side and take out that tower. And we managed to keep the tower on the right hand side alive. Never mind, he used the arrows. So far we're down 2 towers. Let's go ahead and start out with the Golem way in the back here and see if we can't set up a push, maybe with the Royal Giant behind the Golem. So let's see here. Golem is making his way up there. He drops a Musketeer back there. Gonna go ahead and use the Royal Giant behind that Golem. And we might actually change up our deck after this and see what happens. Use the arrows to damage all of these troops. And yeah, we're not going to get anything accomplished here. So we're going to use this Inferno Tower. And then the Barbarian Hut right here. And he drops the free spell. So we are going to get 3 crown here probably. Let's see if we can't hold out and only put off 2 crowns. So 10 seconds left here. He's got a pretty strong push going on here. And I was going to use my Golem there to try and distract and hold out for to not get 3 crowns, but unfortunately we weren't able to. Thumbs up to you, buddy. So that wasn't too bad. We only lost 28 trophies, but let's go ahead and make up some changes to our deck here. Now instead of the Inferno Tower, what if I threw in the Barbarians? Just to be a little bit more versatile. And then what else do we want to change, if anything, on here? Do we want to keep the Royal G in there? He costs 6 elixir, so the Giant Skeleton potentially. No, let's keep the Royal Giant in there. And then Barbarian Hut and Golem are good. So let's try that with the Barbarians instead and see if that helps out a little bit. So now we're matched up against a level 9. Our last opponent was level 10, so he did have an advantage. So let's go ahead here. We got the Golem in our starting hand. I'm going to go ahead and use Slow Push with the Royal G on the back on the right side here. And what is he going to drop with that Ice Wizard? He's going to drop a Royal Giant of his own. Going to go ahead and use the Spirit Goblins here, as well as the Barbarians to take it out. And the Ice Wizard is actually extremely strong, guys. It's pretty efficient for only 3 elixir. As you can see right here, he pretty much takes out all those Barbarians by himself, which means a 3 elixir card countered a 5 elixir card. So he is pretty efficient for what he does. Now right here we are in some trouble. Gonna go ahead and use the Barbarian Hut as well as some skeletons to counter that. Now I probably should have placed that Barb Hut closer to the left hand side to distract his Royal Giant the next time he comes up with it. So let's see here, what can we do? I can't really support those barbs because they won't really do anything. Gonna go ahead and use the arrows here, and unfortunately he's cycling a lot faster than us. We don't have the Barbarians ready yet, but there they go. Hopefully take out that Royal Giant before he does too much damage. So our tower is all the way down to 400 health here, guys. Now the barbs, will they make it to the tower? I just wasted my Zap spell earlier, but of course the Zap spell wouldn't have killed those minions anyways, so I probably wouldn't have taken out... Wait, what am I even talking about? I don't even have the Zap spell. I meant arrows. So let's go ahead and use the Barbarian Hut right here. And unfortunately that one minion was able to kill my tower. And I just realized both of his towers are down to 1400 health. So honestly, we're not doing too bad considering the kind of deck that we have. Now we're going to use some skeletons here to protect this Barb Hut. Go ahead and arrows that princess. And then he's probably going to drop a Royal G on the right hand side here. We're going to use our own. He just dropped his Barbarians in the middle there, which is honestly pretty good because the Barbs are his best counter against the against our Royal Giant. Gonna go ahead and arrows all this and keep those Spirit Gobs on the left alive. Can that Royal Giant on the right hand side take out that tower? One more hit, bringing it all the way down to 125 health. Let's sneak in one more Royal Giant here, and even with that Ice Wizard, hopefully he can go in and get one shot off. With those Barbarians, I don't know. Come on, just one hit. One hit. There we go. We took out the tower, evening it up to 1 crown apiece. But of course, he is about to take this second tower right here. But overall, that wasn't too bad. We did a lot better than the first battle. And we did get 1 crown for my crown chest. So I'm going to go ahead and use that golem there. And can we last for 3 more seconds? So there we go. Now let's go ahead and do one more battle here with this deck. Do we want to make any more changes with this deck before we go in once again? So as you can see, we got 1 crown there for that crown chest. That's pretty cool. And I kind of like the way it worked there with the Barbarians instead of the Inferno Tower. Now the Hog Rider, I didn't actually do anything with that Hog Rider in that battle. So maybe we can sell that out for something else. What costs 4 elixir that would be useful in our deck? Maybe... What do we have? Maybe the Baby Dragon? The Baby Dragon to support the Royal Giant might be useful. So let's go ahead and do one last battle here. And hopefully we get the victory and get those trophies back up there. So let's go ahead. We have a level 9. So an even battle here so far. Golem once again in our starting hand. I might start out with the Royal Giant on the right hand side. He might do a Hog Rider push on the left hand side. Sometimes when somebody uses goblins right at the start of the battle, I usually see that as an indication that they are using a Hog Rider deck. So he has the Ice Wizard on the left hand side, which honestly is an interesting choice. I'm going to go all in on the right here with the Baby Dragon. He does have the Fireball to take out those Barbarians. Then he has some Barbarians of his own. So that's kind of unfortunate. Going to go ahead and arrows this here. The Royal Giant did get a couple hits off on that tower, bringing it down to 1600 health. But honestly, we spent a ton of elixir right there. So he's going to come in with his Hog Rider and probably do some crazy damage. He probably has a Zap Spell ready right here. Does he? He does not. So that wasn't too bad. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But he definitely has an Elixir lead at this point in the battle. So should we go ahead with the Royal Giant Barbarian combo once again on the right hand side? Let's do it. And we're going to go ahead with the Baby Dragon this time. I'm not going to bother with the Barbarians protecting it because, of course, he does have the Fireball in his deck. Now, the Baby Dragon is a decent support unit for the Royal Giant. The only problem is he has a pretty slow attack speed. So as you can see right there, by the time the the Baby Dragon killed that minion horde, the Royal Giant was pretty much already almost dead. So what can we do right here? Going to drop down some... I was going to use Barbarians on my own, but of course he does have that Fireball. Going to go ahead and use that here, take out that, drop some Skeletons here, and some Spear Gobs right here. Can we save this tower? That would be kind of cool if we could. And there we go. Now, of course, the Crown Tower targets the Barbarian on the right-hand side instead of just killing that Goblin first on the left-hand side. That is Murphy's Law right there. So let's go ahead with the right-hand side with the Royal Giant Baby Dragon combo. We're gonna go ahead and arrows all that, but of course the arrows do take a couple seconds to land, so that kind of sucks. And of course we don't have a counter for the Princess anymore. So what can we do here? He's gonna go in with that. Gonna use the Barbarian Hut and some Spear Gobs over here, and he drops a free spell, and we are able to kill that Hog Rider, which is pretty cool. And then he's gonna Fireball right here. Yes. And then I'm going to use the Baby Dragon to counter that Princess. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Royal Giant right here. We do have the arrows ready for that Minion Horde. Go ahead and use that. Does he drop the Minion Horde in time? He does not. And we actually got his tower all the way down to 400 health. So that wasn't too bad. Good game. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.